Everybody for coming out tonight. I'm Ben. I'm going to be giving you a speech on how to properly fill a prescription. I've been working as a pharmacy tech for just under 4 years. I found out that most people think when they drop off a prescription that all we have to do is put pills in a bottle, put a label on it, and it's ready for them to go. That is not the case. There's a lot of steps involved in each prescription, from entering it into the computer to making sure it's a valid prescription to getting it to go through insurance to all the double checking that goes on. The first and probably most important step is verifying the prescription is valid. Depending on the type of prescription, as in the class of drug it is, there are 8 classes. Class 1 is illegal substances. Class 2 is your highly addictive drugs like Percocet, fentanyl patches, things like that. Class 2, 3, and 4 are also controlled substances. They are minorly addictive like Vicodin and other pain relievers and other antidepressants. And then you have your class 6 and 7 drugs. Those are your normal drugs, your run-of-the-mill. Those are good for 12 months. Class 2 through 5 are only good for 6 months. Then you have class 8, which are your over-the-counter medications like Tylenol, ibuprofen, things like that. So first, once you get the prescription, depending on the class, you have to verify certain information is on the prescription. Patient name, patient date of birth, doctor has signed it, there's a drug on it, there's an actual drug that's still on the market on it, the strength of the drug is accurate, the directions make sense for the drugs, refills if they have any, quantity for the drug, and it's not expired. Once you do all that, you then have to scan the image of the hard copy into the computer and transpose all of the information into a database. You have to select everything correctly. The hardest part about this is transposing SID codes into actual directions. SID codes are shorthand used by doctors so they don't take so much time when they're writing the prescription. An example would be 1 POQD would mean take 1 tablet by mouth every day, or 1 BID and QHS would mean take 1 tablet twice a day and 1 tablet at night at bedtime. After you do all that, you then send it to the insurance. About 75 to 80% of all prescriptions will go through insurance without a problem. Of those other 20 to 25%, their most common problems are either a refill too soon or a prior authorization is required. For refill too soon, much easier one to deal with out of the two. Normally just means that the person is trying to pick up their prescription either too early or there's been a change in directions or strength of the medication. If there's been a change in directions or strength, you just normally have to call the insurance company, let them know what's going on, and they'll put in an override code for you. For a prior authorization, this requires you to call the doctor. What it's saying, the insurance company is trying to tell you that they don't want to pay for this medication because they believe there is a comparable medication that is cheaper to use than the actual medication, the medication they prescribe. So once you call the doctor, they then have to call the insurance company. The insurance company has to tell them why they didn't want to pay for the medication. Doctor either explains to them why the patient needs to be on this medication or will prescribe a different medication that's cheaper for the insurance company to fill. Once it gets through insurance, it then goes into the pre-verification stage. This is the first time the pharmacist will actually lay eyes on the prescription. What their job is to double check everything you put in: dates, prescriber, prescriber location, patient, drug, directions, all those type of things. They have to verify to make sure that it is accurate and the prescription is legal. If it passes that, it then goes into the product dispensing point. Product dispensing is the easiest part of the job. All you have to do is take the label, match the NDC, which is National Drug Code, with the National Drug Code on the bottle, scan them both out of the system, count the proper amount of medication, label the bottle, and hand it back to the pharmacist. Then it goes back to the pharmacist. So the pharmacist now has it for the final verification stage. At this point, they just go through and they double check everything. They've already double checked once, and they're also checking to make sure you put the right medication in the right bottle. So they're looking at the imprint on the medication and verifying it with the imprint on prints out on the label. If it goes through that, it's then ready to be released to the patient. All of these steps have to be done for every prescription before it's able to be released. So in conclusion, tonight I went through all the steps you have to go through in order to have your prescription filled, and I hope you guys realize that it can't take us just 30 seconds anymore. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it.
Yeah.